So dear participants, welcome you all for the second session on this course on 4D printing and smart manufacturing. For this session, we are with us Engineer Pranav Chauhan and Vishal Bagatia. They are from the Design Tech system. Pranav Chauhan is expert in use of Altair HyperWorks business, and he is working in the area of multi-physics simulation and structural optimization. Vishalji is working as a support for research in new product development for mechanical, automotive, defense, and aerospace industry. From Little Chandigarh side, sir, I welcome you all for this discussion. Now the dice is yours, and we can start the proceeding.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for the introduction and giving us the platform for showcasing the solutions, various solutions for medical devices and healthcare. So I'll be just sharing my screen. Is my screen visible?
So still not.
Yeah.
No, Vishal.
Okay, just a second. I guess it'll take some time. Yeah, now I'm in the presentation mode. Please confirm if the screen is visible so that we'll
Yes,
start.
sir, loud and clear, sir.
Yes, it
Yes.
is visible.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, welcome all to the session on simulation for healthcare and medical equipments, devices, and implants. So myself, Vishal Bhattadia. So I'll be taking you through the initial part of the presentations along with my colleague, Mr. Pranav Chauhan, who will be covering the later part. So the overall agenda would be, first of all, we'll just brief you about what Altair is and what Design Tech is, the company profile, and what we actually are into, followed by the design for additive manufacturing, mainly for implants and bones, and followed by the latest simulation techniques which are available in the market, which can be used for complex structures and simulations, followed by the complex physics simulations, which are also being used in terms of medical and biomedical applications based on various loading scenarios, along with what are the use cases which uh, industry is actually applying these simulations for, and we can then open up for further question and answers. So about Altair and its vision. So Altair's vision is actually to transform customer decision making with data analytics, simulation, and high performance computing, be it in any industry vertical. We wish to integrate all of these techniques, which would help customers to drive innovations using the simulation techniques. Altair is based out in US, founded in 1985. It is headquartered. It has more than 12,000 customers globally, having 86 offices and more than 3,000 engineers who are mainly into the core design and R&D of these softwares. And when we talk about the customer ranges of Altair, or where Altair is present, we are present in various industry verticals like automotive, e-mobility, engineering services, education, energy, government defense, heavy rail, industry goods, life and earth science, materials, as well as technology companies. And when we talk about specifically healthcare or medical equipments, we are present across all of these uh, the companies that you see in front of you. And when it comes to also consultants like Infosys, TCS, Siant, they use our solutions. In terms of Indian homegrown companies, we have Sajan Medical as well, who use that, and Stryker. The solution that we provide is broad. We provide solutions for data analytics, physics simulations, design modeling visualization, also manufacturing simulations, IoT, high performance computing, and also we have other products which are our partner products. So when it comes to any design or design process, we have end-to-end solutions to do so, and also take it further by including data analytics in it, which is the current new norm or the current booming technique, which is also being used in all across all the industries. And how Altair differentiates, the solution of Altair differentiates from all of this is the solutions that we provide are open architecture. We have domain expertise, and we are leader in optimization technologies, which will be the prime focus of today's presentation. And a little brief about Design Tech Systems. So Design Tech Systems is the solution partner for Alter Engineering across India. We are amongst the top 3 CAD/CAM PLM companies, and we are present in the market from more than 20 years. So coming to the Alter solutions for biomedical. So when we talk about the simulation challenges that we address in biomedical and healthcare, it can range across a simple biomedical equipment to a complete bone structure, its interference with electromagnetics, and also development of various healthcare products. So before even talking about these solutions, we would just like to talk about the challenges and what basically drives the industry to simulate and to incorporate these simulation techniques and rely on the virtual validation. So the current challenge is basically to innovate, right? So it would be things like developing equipments, developing products which are miniature or which are compact, because we have seen in the current situations where when the devices that we are making it more and more portable for ease of use and to cater to a wider range of people, to help more and more people by having a portable device. So that is one of the challenges. Second is short design cycles. Now we see even during the pandemic situation how companies have innovated and how they have tried to develop equipments like ventilators and the oxygen devices in such a short duration, because the time crunch is large and the design cycle needs to be very short, and you need to rely on something which would reduce your physical prototyping. And also there is also strict validation and test requirements which would be put on by various regulatory bodies. In the US it might be FDA, and in India it might be DCGI or CDSCO. So that is also one of the factor wherein it is a challenge to produce a product which also meets those requirements. And also we see in terms of surgeries and medical procedures, we are going towards more and more less invasive procedures. Like when we talk about angioplasty, previously we would have to go with, let's say, an open heart surgery or open surgeries to do those procedures to remove clogs and treat those arteries. But these days we would have devices like stents which can be used for giving the same effect. So we would see that there is more and more involvement of less invasion in these medical procedures. We would also see the innovations of carbon nanotubes being used for medical practices and so on. So in order to address those challenges, there are also these drivers that we see which are having shorter development cycles. The medical procedures also getting complex with these less invasive procedures that I'm talking about, as well as the performance standards should be all-time high. It should never reduce. It will all the bar is set high now in terms of performance standards to meet, and also the product life and durability. Now we would see a stent which was a few years ago or maybe 5 6 years ago would give you a guarantee of, or we would give you a lifespan of, let's say, 3 to 5 years. But now it would probably give you a lifespan of 10 to 15 years of the product lifespan that I'm talking about. So there is increase of product reliability and durability requirements, and also finally the regulatory norms that put up these standards and approvals in process. So that is why the use of FEA or the use of simulation is steadily increasing in the medical industry. And FEA is also, in at least in terms of FDA, is a requirement to achieve approvals for various implants in the body. And that is also why these regulatory bodies are putting more and more emphasis in terms of simulation as well in terms of product development process. And when it comes to the design, it can be the structural performance, the thermal performance, the fluid performance, as well as the electromagnetic performances and interactions. So when we talk about the Alter for medical solution, in Alter we provide a simulation platform wherein you can check your design and quality changes for biomedical companies to gain acceptance in the validation process. what can we do in terms of industry segments? We can address the cardiovascular, dental, orthopedics, orthomimicking, even physical medicines, medical equipments, and general medical electronics. Something as simple as even the medical chair or the chairs in the hospital, wherein now we see there is so much of innovation in that particular the hospital bed as well, or even wheelchairs. There is a lot going on in terms of giving more and more ease of use, ease of operation, and also automation in those things. So everything can be done through simulations at the initial level of the design process. So usual process or usual workflow that goes on in this particular thing is there is a problem definition, there is some kind of concept generation, optimization to be done, and the design and development goes through certain test validation and analysis, and then it goes to production. So that would benefit in reducing the uh, overall weightage in terms of prototyping. So coming to the part wherein we would talk about the additive manufacturing applications for medical. The reason why this is so much in progress is when we talk about additive manufacturing, it is obviously a costly affair. It is not gaining much traction when it comes to mass production, but when it comes to prototyping and uh, a specific need-based design, it is one of the better or best technique that is being currently used. So this is actually a statistics from a survey which was done 1.5 years ago, with respect to healthcare and medical in terms of focus. What we found was when it comes to additive manufacturing and how it is being used is primarily around 60 to 65% is actually being used for prototyping, design, and development. That is for sure. But out of the complete data that we get, around 40 to 45% is actually being used for anatomical modeling. So when it comes to implants or mimicking some kind of a prosthetics, additive manufacturing is also gaining traction for that. So that is what we are actually seeing in it. And when we talk about the focus of healthcare, so in terms of healthcare in the recent terms, so what we found out was in terms of improving the manufacturing decisions, data analytics is one of the major factor, which is being actually used in the healthcare industry, as well as the inclusion of additive manufacturing and topology optimization takes up major of 50, almost 40% of the overall status. So let us just talk about the thing which comes into mind when we talk about additive manufacturing and designs is topology optimization. Well, topology optimization or the concept of topology optimization was actually derived from Wolff's law of bone remodeling, wherein he stated that the primary consequences of the shape being varied of a bone structure is based on its uneven loading and the way it has been loaded throughout uh, you know, the growth of that particular bone right from birth till a certain age, and that is the major governing factor which affects the shape. So what Altair did like almost 30 to 35 years back is derived a code which basically simulates this particular process of topology optimization based on the mathematical approaches which were also formulated based on this particular statement and the research by Julius Wolff. And for that, we have the topology optimization technique, which has been enabled in the simulation process. So what I'll be doing is I'll be showing a particular video which will show how we can start from a design to optimization and to the additive manufacturing process. What we actually just saw is the process of optimization and also a part of additive manufacturing. Now, when we talk about topology optimization, as I said, it is a mathematical approach wherein based on your loading and boundary conditions, you can get a material layout. So usually whenever these simulation tools generate a material layout, it is quite organic. It is not very easy to manufacture such designs as it is. We often need to compromise in its shape. We often need to make assumptions and then make it manufacturable via the traditional manufacturing techniques like casting or forming or forging or so on. But when it comes to the core strength of additive manufacturing and topology optimization is into realizing those designs using additive manufacturing. So what we can basically do is we can do the amalgamation of these two techniques of additive manufacturing and topology optimization to drive our designs, wherein what we can do is, let's say we have a product. In this case, what we saw was a hip implant, wherein based on the loads and boundary conditions, a certain shape was actually generated. Based on that shape, the simulation tool can also generate lattice structures. So what happens is, in order to also reduce the mass but also keep the stiffness more or less the same as the previous one, and also to ensure the load is being bared what it is actually meant for, lattice would generate a lattice type structure for this particular model. Now, as we know, lattice as it is cannot be manufactured using a traditional process. So we can leverage additive manufacturing to cater to that particular challenge. So wherein what we can also do is we can do a 3D printing process simulation in the tool, wherein let's say if a part is basically a metal part, usually what we would see is titanium as a material being used for most of these implants. What we can do is we can do an SLM based approach for 3D printing in the simulation platform, wherein we can generate the supports, we can do the layer by layer printing, and we can understand if there will be thermal distortions, whether this is actually printable, how much of the support is actually getting generated, and so on. And then later on, an STL file can be taken out and it can be printed. So that is the overall approach which can be taken into consideration using both of these techniques of additive manufacturing and topology optimization. So there's one more second, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, and that can also be a low-cost substitution for bone implants, wherein since even though the manufacturing cost might be slightly higher when we talk about just one thing, but when it comes to a production which is in at least a smaller volume, uh, it can also balance the cost overall. So when we talk about this overall approach, so it is almost a 10-step approach which involves virtual and physical involvement. So when you want to start off with any particular design, you need to figure out whether it is for medical or wellness, whether it is for inside the body or outside the body. So what is the main function of it? The next thing would be, what is the manufacturing requirement, and what is the packaging space, and what is the loads and boundary conditions it should actually bear, and what is the limitation that you have in terms of manufacturing it. So usually 3D printers, you would consider a bed size as your standard, wherein you would understand that the part should not exceed that particular dimensions. So that is what you need to understand, and also the allowable material that you have. Once you have that, you can also do a system simulation, wherein you can understand what is the system design, what is a particular given component design, where you will do the optimization. You will also build a model which is probably manufacturable, and you can do the process simulation. So these six steps that you see is an iterative approach. So you need to go back and forth between designs, and you can understand that which is the design which is most suitable in the part simulation process. Once your past part simulation is satisfactory, you can then move on to the physical aspect, wherein you would print the product, you would check the quality of the product by doing various types of scans, you would perform testing, and then you would that would also involve approvals from various regulatory bodies, and then you can maybe go forward with the production. So this overall step of these 10 steps that you would see would be the approach for design for additive manufacturing. So more than half of the part of it is actually done virtually. So that is why the involvement of simulation is very important to reduce the burden of the physical prototyping and testing. So the use case, as you would see, is we can mainly generate the lattice structures from these structures, from the models that we have. We can optimize those designs as much as possible. There is one of the example that we have of a jaw implant or replacement, wherein based various loading conditions are actually applied on the model or the base model of the jaw, and there is some kind of an optimization or pattern that the tool or the simulation platform would suggest. So as you would see right now, what you observed is from the initial solid design, we are getting some structures, some section structures that we observe over here, and based on that we can fine tune that design to obviously make it more smoother. We cannot have such sharp designs in production, so it would be fine tuned. And primarily our goal will be to make it manufacturable. So as we see, we can smoothen these structures out in the tool, and we can generate a manufacturable design. I'll just go ahead. And finally, what we observe, what we actually obtain is a design something like this, which is then actually replaceable and manufacturable. So this is just one of the example of how these techniques are being used for implants and replacements. Now that all of this, what I'm talking about is more related to design for additive manufacturing, optimization, lattice generation, and so on. We are also observing more and more challenges when it comes to actually analyzing complex structures, like let's say a bone model or a skull model or so on. So usually what we rely on is an STL FEG mesh, and then we try to analyze in the softwares. Now what has happened is 3 years back, we have also seen a boom in terms of a technology which is called as a meshless simulation technology, wherein you don't need any unsimplified geometry, or you actually don't even need a mesh. So basically, how this meshless simulation technology works is, it is at the end of the day a structural analysis solving. It is based on finite extended method of finite element analysis, wherein instead of generating a mesh, or instead of generating a finite element model directly on the solid, what the meshless simulation tool would do is, it would approximate the boundary conditions, and it will generate the equations based on the particular boundary conditions. So it will consider those shapes as an approximate boundaries, and then it will develop the overall equations for them. And what is more crucial in this is, we can directly work with STLs. So let's say if you have an STL file, you don't have a CAD file of a particular model. What you can do is, at the initial stages of a simulation and innovation, what you can do is, you can directly take the STL and you can apply the loads and boundary conditions, and you can get the data out of it. This is one of the example by Roth McLaren Hand and Upper Limb Center. So basically, they focus mainly on bone structures and also replacements for them. So what their challenge was to evaluate the biomechanics of bone stresses. So what they wanted to approximate is, how is the stress coming for that particular bone structure. So for that, their main requirement was to model a human bone specimen. Now what they did in SimSolid was, they particularly got a particular STL file for that. They took it inside SimSolid, and it worked for them. They were able to predict the overall stresses that would come based on the loading conditions that they had put up. So that is how SimSolid would also help in uh, biomedical applications for such complex bone structures. Now that was about the part wherein we have seen design for additive manufacturing, and also the meshless simulation technique. We would now like to move on to the further simulation for the simulation challenges when it comes to complex multiphysics and complex physics, which would be covered by my colleague Pranav Chauhan. So Pranav, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vishal. Am I audible?
Yes, Pranav, you're audible.
Okay, so I'm just sharing my screen.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so is my screen visible?
It's coming up. Just a second. Not yet, actually. So have you selected the screen and then shared it?
Yes, it is shared.
Yeah, just a second. I guess it'll take a minute or so.
So I'm sharing it again.
Yeah, sure.
So I have to share an entire screen, your entire
Yeah.
screen.
So what you do is you select present now, then say entire screen, and there will be a dialog box which will open, and you click on that particular screen and then say share.
Yes. Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Not yet, Pranav. Not for me. Just a second. We'll just hold on. Is anyone else being able to see the screen?
No, sir. Actually, it's just saying presentation Pranav Chauhan, but the screen is blank.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, a window. Okay, I'll see. Okay.
Yeah.
So can you see my screen now?
Just a second. We'll just check.
Pranav, sir, are you sharing your entire screen?
No. I am sharing the specific presentation screen. So is it visible?
No, sir.
Not
Sir,
yet.
I would just request you to share your entire screen.
Okay, just a second. Your entire screen.
Pranav, I'll quickly come on Unidesk. 1 second.
No, it's okay.
Okay, sure. Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet. It's showing blank. I mean,
So
The
if you
entire
have
screen.
shared that window of presentation, then you might be going to the slideshow mode. Then it won't be visible, sir.
Okay, so I need not to go for the slideshow mode.
no.
Sir, you need to go to the slideshow, but then if you're sharing a particular window and then selecting the presentation window, the slideshow window is different from the presentation window. So if you're sharing that particular window,
So I am using share your entire screen. I've shared my entire screen, but it is showing like
Okay.
Pranav sir, have you shared your entire screen?
yes.
Even then, sir, we can't see your screen. Right, Vishal sir?
Yes, yes. Pranav, what I'll do is, can I just quickly check what is happening?
Okay.
Just accept
Because it
my
is
request.
showing, yeah, it is taking n number of means to say imagings.
Okay.
Pranav sir, if you don't mind me asking, which browser are you using?
I'm using Edge. Can I use? I need to use
Sir,
something
I
else.
request you to open this particular meeting in Google Chrome, sir. Then you will be able to share.
Okay, fine. Just a second.
Sure, sure.
So I believe I cannot means to say. So Vishal, can you showcase your
Yes,
presentation?
yes. 1 second. Yeah, sure. Pranav, you want to add those slides as well, or just
No.
sure,
So you have the entire presentation. I didn't change anything.
sure. Pranav, let me know if you can see the simulate complex interactions modeling.
Yes. So I can start now. Okay. So thank you, Vishal, to give us a wonderful presentation over means to say optimization and product development. So now we are coming on to the very sensitive part of the simulations. When we are talking about a human body, so it is very critical in nature. So we have to go in depth for certain cases when we are talking about multiphysics simulations and various other electromagnetic simulations. So we have to go in depth. So to go in depth, so we have to model the whole system in depth to get the results very accurate. So for that, we have to model first. So we have to use needs to say different aspects of modeling, like STL model. So when we scan any human body parts areas, so we can generate the STL models, which can be used as an input data for our preprocessor Hypermesh. And there you can see on the screen that we have made one human face. So those kind of wrapping technologies can be used for different kind of mesh and model setup. So as I already said that Altair is an open architecture for both CADs and solvers. So you can use and you can do the meshings, and you can import any kind of CAD data, and you can go for generating the pre-processing methods, and you can export for any kind of solvers to do the different kind of simulations. Not only apart from the simulations, we can go and innovate designs also here. So I'm talking about Hypermorph. Hypermorph is again a technology where you can change the means to say design shapes and variables with a new requirement. So you need not to go from the scratch for the different kind of analysis. You just use the existing model and changes the structure by according to the new inputs, and you are good to go for the simulation again. So apart from that, we can automate the whole process for those kind of analysis, like batch meshings and how many parts need to be modeled, which kind of element we need to use, and what kind of material library we have used. All these things can be recorded and make a means to say automation code, and we have to run that code, and it will generate all the things automatically for that whole assembly. Next, please. Yes, so I'm talking about here that how we are means to say generating the human body structures into our preprocessor, which is Hypermesh. So what it takes the help of softwares like Mimics and mComfort. So what it will do, it will take the CAT scan or MRI scan images and check, and it will slice it into the different like pieces, and it will create a 3D volume, and those surfaces can be exported as a geometry. So that geometry, that CAD data can be used as an input for Hypermesh, and we can create elements out of it, solid elements out of it. And what we can do, we can again send this back to Mimics to apply the material properties, because the bone density is changing, and according to the bone densities, it is assigning the different property materials to the different sets of elements. So that is how we are means to say exactly replicating the actual bone structures or different kind of structures into the virtual platform. So likewise, means to say with the help of FE models and property materials, we are good to go. We have to put the load conditions and boundary conditions, and we can generate the results according to our need. Next, please. Hello, Isha. Next, yes. Yes. So if I am talking about means to say the usage of our preprocessor for different customer use cases, so you can see that the Scripps Research Institute is using Hypermesh for biomedical meshes, basically meshing the complex bone structures, which will help them to develop the implants, long-lasting means long-lasting joints for prosthetics. Likewise, WGH Engineering is using Hypermesh to cut down its physical testing cost of medical devices by 95%, and more accurate and efficient analysis they are doing by using preprocessor Hypermesh, and basically mainly for joints, stents, and spines and all. Nuvisiv and Zivix are using again the Hypermesh models for their usage for different kind of analysis extensively. Next. So coming on to the means to say different kind of solutions what we have in our Altair portfolio, which are very much useful for the biomedicals. So you can see that medical problems often involves a wide range of complex environment, basically. So the biological loading conditions are very much complex in nature. So those biological means to say loading conditions can be replicate into the softwares. So if I talk about first like a non-linearity, so suppose means to say body injuries and all. So here we are talking about very complex loading to means to say to simulate the body injuries, and after that we can use the simulation results to optimize our new implants basically. So likewise we can map those results to extract the new design for the development of the new prosthetics. So similarly, if I talk about a CFD and fluid structure interface, so here I am talking about a blood flow. So now how blood flow is flowing into the veins and how it is interacting into the different complex regions. So what is its flow patterns and what its pressure drops and all those kind of things we can simulate and we can get the results. Likewise, if I'm talking about durability and fatigue life, so it is very much important for the biomedical implants basically. So now when we are putting any implant to the patient, so it's supposed to be long lasting for a lifetime basically. So to get the durability of those products so that it can work with the different kind of peak loads, medium loads and low loads, and it has a very means to say everlasting lifetime means to say working. So we have to do the durability analysis also. So apart from that mechanical aspects, so nowadays we are seeing that many implants are electromagnetic in nature, and we have some instruments like MRI scan systems which are electromagnetic in nature. So we have to do the electromagnetic simulations also for those kind of implants and all, because we have to check the SAR values or the radiation values that it should be very well within the permissible limits approved by means to say medical authorities and all. So for that kind of purposes, I believe that a simulation is a very good virtual platform to predict those kind of results, and you can go further to develop your product. Apart from that, thermal temperature cycles and the motion and biomechanics is also a very promising areas to work in the virtual platform. Next. So if I'm talking about first, I'm talking about orthopedics. So you can see here we have a few customer use cases. So it is like in RITS, they are using the means to say for damage and failure of a living tissue, okay, which plays an important role for dynamic loadings and all. So an implant material, it will be the three-phase linear elastic damage calculation and failures kind of things. So it will be helps in to develop the product which should not fail up to the peak loads and all. So those kind of analysis has been done by RITS and all. Talking about knee joints and implants, so we have hypermesh FE models to analyze stress patterns basically between the cartilages to avoid chronic knee pains and arthritis kind of things. So means to say hypermesh models give you the results in terms of stresses between the cartilages, and you can see that stress load concentrations, and you can see whether it will be permissible or whether it will affect the joint or not. So those kind of things you can predict by using virtual simulation. Again, talking about means to say hip joint. So here you can see that how hip joint is affecting the actual part of your body and how the wearing of the takes place. So we can use the SPH formulation. Again, it is a different technology in the means to say Alter platform. So you can use and you can see that how means to say it is giving the stress distribution at the interface, and it will help you to predict or redesign the part for that particular means to say bone structure and all. Next. So here I'm talking about means to say orthopedics. So every time when we are talking about implants, or so we have something like patient specific design. So means to say we have to particularly make that prosthetic or part for specifically for the patient. So in that conditions, again, we have to scan the skulls, and after that we have to mean to say recreate the using the image. We have to recreate the model, and after that we have to do the finite element modeling by using the hypermesh, and FEA solutions by using structural solutions like OptiStruct. And when we see that okay, that visualization of the results are pretty much promising for those kind of loads conditions and boundary conditions. So what we can do, we can set up that part into the 3D print, and it will, that 3D printed part can be used and implanted to the means to say patient. So it helps in basically means to say gives you a lot of information before going into the actual surgery to the patient. So likewise, virtual simulations helps you to means to say to collect as much as data for that particular surgeries and all. So similarly, if I'm talking about a 3D model, 3D modeling for stress analysis of premolar tooth using FEA. So here what we are doing, so we are just trying to understand the different load conditions and what are the effects on the premolar tooths. So now when we have predicted and we have done the analysis and we got the results, we got the visualization stress patterns, and now we know that what we need to do to withstand those kind of teeth, how to design those kind of teeth to withstand the load conditions which we have means to say selected for that particular case. So here you can see that FEA-based studies help to improve understanding of the biomechanics of the dental structures and to produce artificial tools with the improved mechanical strength like chewing and impact and all. So those kind of it is in withstand those kind of loads, and further these studies helps in orthodontic corrections of molar tools using appliances like pendulum tests and all. Okay, so next. Yes. So this is a classic case actually. So you can see that we have optimized one of the implant. So now you can see for that particular means to say joint, every means to say for every human, this joint shape and size is different. So what we can do, we have designed once, and what we can do further. So we need not to go from scratch again to design the same kind of joint. So what we can do, we can go for the shape optimization. So here what we are checking. So according to the human shapes and size, we have different load conditions. So you can see that initial model, we have stress levels like 137 newtons per mm square because it is not optimized. So as right, you can see with the blue and orange that shape has been optimized with the new load conditions, and you can see that stress levels has been reduced. So likewise, we have changed the design and the stress levels are reduced. Now this similar implant can be used for further means to say production, or means to say 3D printing and all. So likewise, we have the optimization technology to switch from means to say one design to another design in a very prescribed manner, basically. So at below, you can see that we have changed means to say bracket, which is going to be screwed on a broken bone. So likewise, we have to change this shape, and we have to change the slots, screw slots on those brackets. So those kind of simulations we have done, and we came up to the conclusion, okay, so we can reduce or we can change the location of that bolt screw joint according to that bones, and we are good to go, because analysis is showing that it is withstand those load conditions. So after that, we can go directly to make that bracket for the means to say for the operation. Next. So here we are talking about stents which are used in the block veins and all. So here you can see that we have to predict a very good life for those stents, because it is not like that we can remove or we can replace those things very often. So what are the requirements to produce those kinds of implants? Like it should have a good fatigue life and sufficient radial stiffness and all, and adequate crimp profile. So means to say, we can see that how these kind of things we can simulate and we can generate all over. Next slide. Yes, so you can see here in the company like Medtronic, we have a improved stents design and accelerate the validation process by using virtual platform. So here the results was improved like 124% in terms of stiffness. Okay, so it has a very good stiffness, and after that, means to say we have reduced the stresses concentrations also by 71%. So likewise, once you have designs any stents, so again I'm saying that we need not to go from scratch for another use case. So what we can do the parametric optimizations. So here we have several parameters like dials and shapes and sizes. So these are the input parameters, and with the new means to say conditions, we can redesign the same stents and for the new load conditions and the boundary conditions. So likewise, optimization is very much capable into producing different means to say different designs at every design stage, like different kind of loading conditions and all. So it is a very useful for designing any kind of product. Next. Yes. So here medical devices means to say like variable orifice flow meter. So here you can see that the flow through the orifice body deflects the diaphragm, and the corresponding pressure drop is measured. So likewise, you have to see that, okay, how much it is opening and what are the stress levels generating into this orifice meter. So, and whether it should be in the permissible limits and all. So those kind of things we can simulate, and we can means to say pace up our product design means in that virtual platform. Next. So we have some predefined process-oriented directors. As if I say, so likewise, if I say about impact simulation director. So we have a prescribed process for impact simulations, like impact simulation of the jaw. if I say. So what we need to do, so we have to have a CAD model or STL models. Okay, based on that we can use and make the FE models. So with the simple clicks we can set up the impact scenario, and after that we can run the simulations, and with the visualization we can predict the damage. And after that, what we can do, we can go for the optimization, and before that we have to make the reports and all. So means to say the process directors are something likes to eliminate laborious works like means to say modelings, analysis setups, post processing, and reporting. So automated report director ARD will helps you. Click, Vishal, click once. Yes. So in this, you can see that we have an automated report director. So where you can see this, it will means to say give you the whole output as a report in Word format, presentation format, and as well as PDF format. Next. So till now, what we have seen are the structural means to say optimization and the solutions kind of things. But here now we are taking all those things into the CFD and FSI, means fluid structure interactions. So now you can see that if we predict some cancer into the brain, so what is the blood flow into the brain? So those kind of simulations you can do to solve the blood flow using the real measure shapes, again the scan shapes, and could find the blood flow patterns for the brain cancer existing status and all. Likewise, airflow in lungs. Okay, so how many branches it is approaching, and what is the means to say different flow patterns and all. So you can see using CFD solutions and all. Likewise, when you are inserting means to say blood fill from sending the blood vessels, so when you are filling it and what is the flow patterns, some turbulence are coming, what is the velocities and all. So any flow parameters you can predict by using CFD code, which is AccuSolve. Next. So here we are seeing that flow simulations using CFD and FSI. So if I talk about the problems, basically, so aortic valve means to say of the heart valve disorder that narrows the aortic valve opening due to the calcium buildup in the leaflet. So those, and modeling the tissue behavior and back pressures and interactions between the tissues and blood are highly complex challenges. So here the results what we have compared are extremely well with the similar hydrodynamic testing of the valves. And for that particular kind of problems, it has saved near about 6 months of development time for the product, and this has won OCEC Engineering Project Achievement Award also. Likewise, blockade in the veins. You can see pre-operative and post-operative designs, and means to say how the blood flow is going on through the veins. So like these kind of simulations, and you can easily predict that okay, this is the pattern and how we should go. Next. Now coming on to the multiphysics simulations. So where now the term multiphysics, like that two different kind of physics are interacting with each other. So here for the medical devices are very much likely to do like for electronic cooling. So it has a major electronic components which supposed to be into the working temperatures. So we have to check the heat dissipations of the electronic components. So likewise we have to see okay what should be the cooling channel and what is the cooling patterns we are getting. Likewise mixing processes, so two different means to say fluids or things we are just mixing. So what is the mixing mixing parameters or how it is mixing with each other. So those kind of simulations we can do. Likewise, blood pumps. So how blood pumps is working and what are the stress generating while working on it, like heart pumps. And also we can do the particle tracing. So likewise, we can see the particle tracing, okay, how it is mixing and how it is going towards. Apart from that, solar radiation and CFD coupled MBD couplings for the walls especially, and mixing impellers are few of the cases which are very much useful for the medical domains. Next. So here, this is the case where the CFD plus MBD is working. So you can see here that how the mechanical valve comes into the working, and what is the means to say fluid flow going on, and how its flow is changing through that inlet and outlet regions, and what are the pressure drops and all the kind of things you can check. Next. So likewise, if I talk about motion and biomechanics, so you can see that means to say the machines or the systems are very means to say complex in nature. If I'm talking about, so MBD solutions can be used for model biomechanics involving joints, motions, modeling, as well as mechanisms involving medical devices. Now you can see that we can, by using multi-body dynamics, we can predict the means to say clamping force, and we can see, okay, how much force we need to apply, and of course we can take those results and we can optimize our whole system also. So similarly, when we are talking about something like flywheel exercise devices, so basically why I'm saying this, because with the simulation you can see that the design, the product what you have made is actually means to say targeting what muscles it is getting affected by using that means to say exercise machine, exercise device. And after that, if you want to improve the means to say the performance of that machine for the astronauts and all, so with this kind of simulations, MBD multi-body dynamics plays a major role to develop those kind of machines and all. Next. So now we are entering into the electromagnetics of the for the biomedical appliances and all. So here we are seeing that means to say the most of the means to say electronic components are means to say exerting electromagnetic radiations and all. So we have to see that how these electromagnetic is affecting the human body. So for that we have to means to say do this analysis and come up to this conclusion that it should be into the permissible limits designed or defined by medical organizations. So we have to calculate RF or fields inside the automobiles or the SAR values, those kind of safety analysis standards we have to follow. So for that we have means to say human phantom models, which are specifically used by our software called FICO, which for high frequency electromagnetic simulations. So next. So you can see we have all kind of phantom models available to do different kind of simulations in terms of electromagnetic simulations. Next. So solving electromagnetics. So why we are solving electromagnetics? Because means to say it will create a thermal means to say thermal impact when the means to say radiations are concentrating into the some implants of the human body. So when the body is entering, which is having the implants into the MRI scans, so whether it is generating the extra amount of heat which is permissible or not, so we have to do those kind of simulations and get to the conclusion, okay, so what should be the limit for those kind of means to say testings and all. So we have to do the simulation for that. Similarly, pacemaker antenna designs and for the different frequencies, so we have to see, okay, and we have to check the frequency and we have to do the analysis. So SAR compliances and all, so we have to do the electromagnetic simulation. Similarly, injectable implants, so after injection, whether it is working on those particular bands and all, whether it is working properly or not, it is giving the proper band channels and all. So those kind of things we have to do. Apart from that, now we have nowadays we have means to say body area network, in which you can see a collection of communicating devices worn on the bodies and providing an integrated set of personalized service to the user. So now these kind of means to say futuristic healthcares coming into the picture, and we can do the electromagnetic simulations for all kind of systems combined. So we have to do the electromagnetic simulations. Next. So here, this is also the case of means to say pacemaker antenna design. So here you can see, okay, generic pacemakers can antenna housing volumes and what should be the volumes of that antennas and all. So those kind of simulations you can see, and you have to see that pacemakers means to say allowing a permissible limits of the radiations and all. So again, this is the same thing. Next. Okay, so now we are coming into the medical devices and applications. So means to say we have many medical devices which has electronic means to say electrical components basically. So being precise in nature, so we have to do the simulations and we have to get our results perfect before into the manufacturing. So we have solutions like low frequency for motor design and electrical appliances design. So we have to do the low frequency electromagnetic simulations for getting our product for our product developments basically. So next. So here you can see that many motor or electrical appliances need to be checked under the electromagnetic, low frequency electromagnetic simulation. So when we are designing any motor for any kind of means to say biomedical appliances, so we have to check and what we can derive from the simulations, like starting torque, current, various types of losses. So this will help us to design our product better. So likewise, those kind of simulations will help to develop your product. Next. Okay, so you can see that now not only the electrical systems or electromagnetic systems, so we have the systems which helps throughout means to say to the patients. So if I am talking about means to say ResMed is a $1 billion company specializing in development and manufacturing of the products for screening, treatment, long-term management of sleep disorders and all. So those kind of things has to be means to say track. After that, it has to be taken care, and we have to give the solutions like, okay, it will work on the patients. So likewise, we are means to say helping in creating the control systems by using the virtual patients, and we can give those kind of results, and they can work on it. Those systems will be having the data from it, and it will help the patients to work smoothly and all. Next. So apart from that, what are the Altair solutions? So we have something called Altair Partner Alliance Solutions. So here we have different solutions under the Altair umbrella, which are very specific in domain. So if I talk about ENCODE, which is designed for durability analysis, CA fatigue again for durability analysis. You can see MoldX for molding simulations and all. So likewise, we have a very specific domain specific solutions also are partners. Next. So here we are showcasing some of the means to say Altair Partner Alliance solutions, which are very much useful for biomedical domain. So like this CAD doctor for fixing the cats, Hubix, which is a finite element model for human body simulating all the bones and organs as well as internal fluids between them, enabling the propagation of the pressure waves inside the body. So all those kind complex, very complex in nature. So those we have our in Altair Partner Alliance, which is Hubix. Likewise, we have ENCODE for durabilities and converse to go do the molding and mechanical simulations and all. Next. So, no, just below, yes, above, yes, yes. Okay, so these are the material partner alliance, which has a vast material database, CES selector, materiality work group, and total material. So it has near about like 380,000 material combination and its properties and all. So you can work by using on total material. And you can, in fact, means to say design your own materials by using parametric designs and parametric optimization of the materials you can do, and you can, in fact, make your own materials and also like that. Next. No, one slide left.
We can summarize this, I think. This is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with this, you can see that we have all kind of means to say outputs, means to say solutions for basically for different kind of your medical domain problem statements basically. So with this, I believe I can conclude myself. Thank you very much. So let me check if I can run that video. So still we have time. So
Hello, Pranav, am I audible? Hello, Pranav, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I think there is some connection lost there.
I guess, yes.
Vishal sir and Pranav sir, you both are audible, but the screen is not visible, sir, the presentation.
Yes, I believe Pranav is trying to showcase a video from his screen. Pranav, is it opening?
No.
All right. Okay, then I think we are open for question and answers. So you can type it on the chat window. You can let us know, or you can let us know how we can summarize this.
Okay, participants, if you have any queries, we can ask from the presenter.
So actually we got one question. So I'm just narrating the question. how much did, with the help of these softwares, reaching in solving the surgical issues related to the surgeries of the brain tumors and brain cancers? So actually, you can see we have a scan. If I say so, we have a scan data, and after that we have done the CFD simulation of the blood flow pattern. So I believe this blood flow pattern will help the doctors to predict, okay, so how to operate. So it will give you the visual means to say aid or a support that how the flow is going on and how they should operate. So that is the main agenda of those virtual simulations. So before that virtual simulations, they cannot predict, okay, what is the blood flow because of this tumor or cancer on the brain. Now they have information of blood flow with the tumor blockage and all. So they can, I believe they have a good data to go for the surgeries and all. I believe I have answered. So thank you. Any other question? Okay, so the question is, does your company or provide training in biomedical softwares? So actually, softwares are generic, means to say these are the softwares these are the same softwares which are used by automotive domain. These are the same softwares which are used by aerospace domain. So these are the generic softwares which are used by all the domains. So if I'm talking about biomedical specifics, so there are means to say we have the means to say pre-analyzed data or in the public forum that will be providing you the help on those softwares trainings specific to the biomedical domain. Apart from that, all Design Tech is the business partner for Altair. And if you are our customer, so there is a proper training channel for those kind of softwares. So Vishal, do you want to add something?
No, I think that is sufficient to cover up.
Okay. So any other query? Well, that's great. We are really thankful, Pranavji and Vishalji, for sparing your valuable time.
Yes, sorry. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for providing us the platform to do so. Thank you.
Actually, I wanted to show one more video. So if you allow me, I can try.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so I'm just checking the video. Just a second. Okay, so I'm trying once more. So if you see, okay, can you see my screen? Is it visible, Vishal?
Not yet,
Sir, I think you're using a different browser.
Not yet, Pranav, I guess.
Yes, that is a problem actually.
Yeah, it'll work in Google Chrome only, sir. If you share your entire screen or either a window. So sometimes when you're using different browsers, no, so it shows presenting, but it shows a blank screen. So I would request you to kindly please share it in the Google Chrome browser, if it is possible.
Because there is some means to say problem from the Google Chrome, so I
So
cannot use
you have Mozilla Firefox?
not Edge and Google Chrome. So I believe Vishal,
Pranav,
can
maybe
I
I can play it. Maybe I can play it. You can just it's the
yeah, you
Inasil one,
can.
right?
No. Yes, you can. Show your screen, and you can open online, I believe.
Okay, which one? OptiStruct, MotionSolve, or AccuSolve? Like, I mean, CFD structure or AccuSolve? Which one?
No. That medical injector, auto injector, and all.
Right, but in that also there are multiple ones, right? So,
I will tell you the video. Means to say you have told me yesterday that name, Nolato.
Okay.
Nolato video.
Okay, got
And,
it.
yeah,
Okay.
that is very much informative. That's why I wanted to showcase. So
Sure. Just
Vishal will be playing in some minutes.
Okay, and Vishal sir, if there is a link, then you can share the link in the chat box. I also can play at my end.
sure. I have found it, so
Okay.
I will just.
So what we will do, we will share some of the links to Rupinder sir. So they will circulate. Is it possible, sir?
Yeah, sure, please.
I will be sending the information and all.
My screen is visible, Pranav?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we'll just play this video right now.
So this is a medical auto injector. You can see. So with the help of Altair Solutions, they have developed this product. So as you can see here, that project overview, that fuel injection process, misuse process, and design iterations designed for manufacturing and optimization are the key areas they are focusing. So how it is injecting the fluid, so that simulation with the multi-body dynamics and the CFD. And after that, what are the stress levels and what are the working forces that has been extracted and optimized, and it can be optimized. Likewise, another issues like misuse. Okay, someone hits on it, someone presses on it. So what will be the stress levels generated? So this is a predefined, so the 3-point bending load cases. Okay, maximum force load case. Okay, so you can see that dislocation, because this is a misuse case. You can see, okay, dislocation of the part. So where, how much force it is, means to say, getting. Likewise, design iterations, drop tests. Okay, someone has mishandled. Okay, what should be the drop test and what are the results we are getting? What are the stress levels we are getting? Okay, and means to say dislocations and all. So we can go do those kind of simulations. See here, stress levels generation at the impact. Okay, so they are showing like original cases and the modified ones. After that, molding. So we have Altair Inspire mold. So there they have means to say simulated the molding of that part, how it is, means to say giving the different results on matching gates and all. Other nonlinear systems like slot fixing. Okay, so those slots can be fitted very easily. So how it is failing, okay, how we can means to say less design sensitive kind of things, optimize gates. So we have done the optimization. So you can see the channel of rips and all that has been done by using optimization. So we got the pattern, and after that we have designed according to the optimization pattern what we got. Okay, so as you can see this, the whole product has been designed by using virtual simulations basically. Anyhow, once we have means to say compliance on the results of virtual simulations, definitely we will make the prototype and do the physical testing also. But as you can see here, the virtual simulations helps a lot in defining the product upfront, and after that it will be very helpful to generate a prototype and go for the mass productions and all. So thank you very much, sir. I think we are done.
Thank you, Pranavji and Vishalji for spending your time and explaining some of the new things to us. Definitely, it will be useful for all the participants. From the Literature Chandigarh side, we are really thankful to you for coming to this platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.